Hey everybody, this is Solving Rational Equations, Lesson 4. Apologize for my voice, but I am sick, but I still need to make these videos. So we're going to be solving rational equations. A rational equation is an equation that contains at least one rational expression. Remember, a rational expression will have a variable, a polynomial, in the denominator. So this is a rational expression on either side. Actually, the left side's rational and the right side's just a fraction. So we're going to solve a real basic rational equation. If you notice, this is two fractions set equal to each other, and what you should have learned in Algebra 1 is when you have two fractions set equal to each other, you can solve by cross multiplying. So that's the same thing as undoing the division by multiplying both sides by the denominators, but this is kind of a shortcut. So you see I'm multiplying both sides by the denominator of the other side, and then I just move forward and solve. So I distribute, I get 70x plus 20. Don't forget to put your expressions in parentheses so that you use the distributive property and you don't forget about that. So I have this method called stay and go that I teach my algebra kids. Basically, I'm going to get the variables to one side. The 12x is going to go to the other side, so it switches signs. The negative 8 is going to stay, so it keeps its sign. And the 20 is going to go, so it switches its sign. So I call this the stay and go method. So I have 82x equals negative 82, so x would be negative 1. Last thing I need to do is check the restriction. So remember, the denominator can't be 0, so if I was to set the left side denominator equal to 0, this would wind up being negative 2/3. So x cannot be negative 2/3, so my solution is not my restriction, so I've found it. All right, you're going to do A, and I'm going to do B, and then I'm going to stop it there, and then we'll move on to a little more difficult one where you simplify first. So again, this is, you need to recognize when you have two fractions set equal to each other, and you just cross multiply. Make sure you set the expressions in parentheses. So it's 3 times 4x minus 6 equals 5 times 3x minus 9. It doesn't matter which side you put these on. You could have done the 3 times 4x minus 6 on the right side and this on the other side. Distribute. And now I'm going to do stay and go. Doesn't matter what side you bring the variables to either. I'm going to bring the variables to the right side. So the 15x is going to stay. It keeps its sign. The 12x is going to go. It's going to switch signs. The constants are going to go to the left. Negative 18 is going to stay. Negative 45 is going to go, and it becomes positive. So I get 3x equals negative 27, or excuse me, positive 27. I divide both sides by 3, and x would be 9. Last thing I need to check is that I haven't found a solution that's the restriction, because that would be extraneous solution. So if I set this denominator equal to 0, I can solve for the restriction. X cannot be 3. That is, yeah, x cannot be 3, because that is what would make the denominator 3. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's true. 3 times 3 minus 9. So there you go. X is equal to 9. So I want you to try A. When I come back on the next video, it will be done, and then I'm going to do a little more complicated one on the next one.